Well, hello YouTube. So, so I wanted to tell you guys about my EGD that I got done on Monday, yesterday. I'm trying not to talk too loud because everybody in my house is sleeping and I just got home from work about 20 minutes ago. Okay, so it went very smoothly to say the least. So I get to the hospital. I went with my fiance and my 2-year-old. And I go to the desk, I sign up. They noticed that yesterday was my birthday, so on every label they had said 37, and I actually turned 38 yesterday. So, of course, that was wrong. So they had to change that. And I filled out some papers. I sat down while I was filling them out. I finished them. I took them back up to her. And when I sat back down, I probably sat there for maybe 10 minutes, and she called me again. She told me she got the labels done. She put my bracelet on, took me to the back. I go in the back, they weigh me. I had to give a urine sample, and I go to one of the beds because there was several people back there. I guess it was like a waiting area to go to surgery. And I go in the back, and I go to where I'm going to be laying, and the lady's asking me, 5 million questions, making sure you're okay, and, if you have high cholesterol, if you have sleep apnea, if you have HIV, like a whole bunch of stuff they ask you. And finished asking my questions. I changed clothes basically into the garb, hospital garb, but only from excuse me, only from the waist up I had to derobe. And you really feel like you're going into surgery once you have to put one of those like lunch lady caps, mesh hats on, whatever it is, I don't know. I can't say that I was very nervous because I wasn't really nervous. Really my first time actually being put to sleep where I knew I was going to be put to sleep. My second pregnancy with my son, I had placental abruption and had an emergency C-section, so I was put to sleep then, but everything went so fast, so I didn't really pay attention. I was just freaking out because it was hemorrhaging, and I don't know, I just wanted everything to be okay, so that was the only other time that I was really put to sleep where I kind of didn't know and kind of knew the last minute when they were literally putting oxygen over my face. But so anyways, she finished asking questions. I put my garb on. I laid in the bed. I don't even know if that's what it's called, but that's what I'm calling it. Anesthesiologist came over like not even 2 minutes later, introduced himself, asked me if I had any questions, said no. He walked out. Another nurse came in, said that she was going to be assisting. Very nice. All my nurses were awesome. One of the other doctors came over, met her, and then they both walked out, and maybe 3 minutes later they took me back. It was probably, I want to say I looked at the clock and it was about probably 8:50 in the morning. And I went back there, and it was about 8:50. Yeah, it was about 8:50 in the morning. And all I could think about, like, my procedure was supposed to be at 10. That's what I was thinking, because they told me to be there at 7:30 in the morning and that my procedure would be at 10. So I'm thinking, wow, I'm going back pretty early. So I go back, go into the operating room. Hopefully I didn't make you guys do that because I know yawns are contagious. But I go in the back, and awesome nurses. I was back there talking to two of the nurses and the doctor, one of the doctors. And then my doctor came in. So I told him, I was like, hey, I saw you on YouTube. And he's like, oh yeah, what'd you see? I said, well, I noticed that you're very caring when it comes to your patients, and it seems very genuine. You talked about quite a bit of different bariatric surgeries. I saw you on the doctors and all of that stuff. So he was like, yeah, that was a few years ago. I was like, yeah, it's like, that's quite interesting and it's pretty cool to watch. So then the other nurses were just talking about remodeling their homes. We were all talking about that. And then I had the IV and everything in at the time. So I had this, I want to say it was probably maybe that big and probably maybe that thick. I want to say probably about that thick. It was a syringe filled with some milky colored stuff, probably about that much in there. And I heard the chatter of propofol, and of course in my head I'm thinking Michael Jackson. I don't know why I was thinking that, but I was just like, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know if I want propofol. But then I heard the doctor say, no, we don't need that. I'm so sorry, I'm tired. I've been working all day and I'm just exhausted. So anyways, doctor went out, he came back. I probably was waiting in there for maybe about 10 minutes. And then the doctor came in and gave the nurse the go ahead. And she says, well, got the horse tranquilizer. I'm going to go ahead and put that on in you. And I was just like, right, okay. They put this thing over my mouth. It was probably about this big. I had to put it in my mouth, wrapped around my head. And I guess this to put the tube in and I guess hold my mouth open. I don't know. And they started with the white milky looking stuff in my IV, and she said you're gonna get sleepy, and literally I was like gone. It was really fast, so I was knocked out. And then I woke up in recovery, and when I looked at the clock it was like 9:15, and all I could think about was like, that was really fast. And the nurse was like, you're all done. Okay, I know you guys are probably like, okay, that's enough yawning. You need to go to bed. Anyways, really quickly, because it's like 12:55 a.m. here, I'm really just super tired. I was going to tell you. Yeah, I woke up in recovery, and the nurse was like, you're probably going to have a sore throat. You're probably gonna have dizziness or what have you, but I didn't have anything, nothing, no sore throat. I didn't have a sore stomach. I wasn't dizzy, which is really weird for me because I can't have like Vicodin, I can't have Percocets, I can't have codeine, I can't have penicillin. It's a whole bunch of stuff I can't have. Hypersensitive to it, and I just kind of would have assumed. That was weird. I would just kind of assume that I would have felt something, but I didn't. So even later on the day, I didn't have a sore throat. Today, nothing. I'm still good. But real quick, when I asked to speak to the doctor came in. She told me that I didn't have any ulcers, which was great, but my stomach lining was a little inflamed. Basically like gastritis, but a really mild case. But told me I could take some Pepcid AC, but I'm probably going to go the natural way. Probably so, instead of taking pills. And then she said they found I'm sorry, one more. They found a hernia. So basically down my esophagus, where the esophagus meets the stomach, this part of the esophagus is supposed to be probably about this big. I don't know if you can see that. About this big, but mine's like this big. And she said that's not good because my stomach like sucks up into it or something. But they said they can fix it and my insurance covers it, which is great. Because if I don't get it fixed, it'll be an issue later on. So while they're in there doing my surgery, when they do it, they're going to fix it at the same time, which is great for me. I'm just like, don't make it too narrow because I need to like swallow stuff, you know. Alright, anyways, that is the end of my video. Apparently I can talk a lot. I always thought in my head that I probably would only talk 3-4 minutes, and yeah, that's totally not the case. But I wanted to tell you what I experienced, and that's what I experienced. So I had no issues with mine. It was perfect. Tomorrow I have to do a stress test. I have to drive to Arlington. Totally not looking forward to it because I'm tired, so I probably should go to bed. But other than that, I'm good. So I will let you guys know how that works out tomorrow. Anyways, have a great night or a great morning wherever you are.